Hey guys, it's me David and welcome back to the finale of Building Scarif. That's right guys, this is week 20. We've reached the point where Scarif is now finished, at least by the end of this segment. There's a couple more things we got to get done guys before it's completely finished, and by the end of the video of course you'll see the finished product. Right next to me you can kind of get a little preview of the finished product. There's not really much to say now because this is it, the finale. Just quickly, just a rehash. It took us 6 months to get to this point. We started building Scarif back in, I believe, January of 2017. Here it is, July of 2017. Took a couple breaks, 1 or 2 week breaks a couple times, but for the most part it was very consistent of a series, and I think it was a very successful series. I know combined view total of all 19 previous weeks behind this, I think it's already probably close to like 750,000 to 1 million total views of all those videos. So that's pretty awesome for a new series. It's sad. I can't believe it, guys. This, just another little quick thing. This is the first mock to be finished in my new apartment that I've been living in the last year and a half. I live here alone, so this is pretty cool. It's a big accomplishment. You know, it's kind of my own Lego thing on my own, in my own place. So it's a big deal. So that's pretty awesome. All right, guys, this is it. Let's get into it. Let's go. All right, guys, we have reached the finale. So, first things first, minifigures. That is one of the biggest things that we're going to be doing in this final segment, is getting the minifigures placed. But before we can do that, and I'll get back to this in just a second, is I have ordered more trees. I got 6 more trees here. Just got those in the mail. So I'm going to put the limbs on them and add those probably around there in the back. And that'll complete the trees, at least for now. And then after that, we're going to move on to the beach area. Complete any additional details around here as well as on the other side. Once we've done that, we're going to get to placing the minifigures and figuring out the battle plan. That's probably the most exciting to a lot of you. And so as you can see here, I ordered, I believe this is 14 of the beach troopers. So they came in very excited. And then I also have 3 of the 501st beach troopers over here. So yeah, it's looking pretty cool already, but this isn't nearly all the minifigures. We don't even have the rebels, and I have even more stormtroopers that I'm going to have than just this. But anyhow, the stormtroopers here, these came in. There's 20 of them. That's what you're seeing right here. So probably at least going to double or triple this amount in stormtroopers. I don't have but 2 or 3 more of the beach troopers because they are very, very expensive to get. So I could only order so many, so I have to use them very wisely in terms of the battle plan, because I want there to be a lot, because you do see them quite frequently throughout the Battle of Scarif in Rogue One, so that's very important. But yeah, so you guys will just have to wait and see what I exactly do. Without ado, first things first, get these trees up and going, and then we'll move on to the beach. So let's see what that looks like. Let's go, guys. All right, guys, so I have added extra trees, and I have done a lot to the water. But I will get to that in just a second. But there is something I want to talk about first, and that is minifigures. So as you can see here, I have a bunch of Rogue One Lego Star Wars sets. So we have the Y-Wing Starfighter bunch, just actually not even a bunch, just a couple of the Rebel Trooper battle packs. I thought I had bought more than these, but apparently not. And then I have, I think this is like 10, yeah, 10 of the Imperial Trooper Battle Pack. So I've got plenty of Imperial Stormtroopers, and I also, it's kind of a little preview, that's some other figures. I'll get to that a little bit later in the video. And then I also have some Battle of Scarif sets right here. I think I'm just going to take the minifigures out of this. I will build this, and I'll build the 2 speeders. Probably won't build any of these walkers, and I'll just take the minifigures out of that. But yeah, anyhow, I'm going to take all the minifigures that I can get out of all of these sets, and that will be in addition to the minifigures I have already have ordered and that have come in. And then I will show you all the minifigures and what I have been working on with the water and trees and etc. So let me go ahead and do that real quick right now, guys. Also, before I do that, I just want to mention that I am time-lapsing this whole thing, everything that I'm doing here for the finale. There'll be a time-lapse of everything near the end, so be excited for that. I know a lot of you are like, hey David, you haven't done time-lapse in a while. Don't worry, guys. I'm doing one big final time-lapse. So let me put these sets together and see what that looks like, guys. Okay, guys. So I put the minifigures together, and the rebels are under those bags over there. But what you're seeing here right now is obviously a bunch of Lego kind of just scrambled everywhere. So once I finish building, or not building, but getting all the figures built, and emptying out all the battle packs, I was left with all these pieces right here. And I was like, hey, why don't I use all these pieces? And I still had a bunch of orange parts left from the AT-ACT. Now, last segment I said to you guys that I would try, you know, attempt at making the bunker, like, what would you call it? The transport, the bunker transport, we'll call it that. But the transport, that orange part, and you can actually see it, it's right here. It's that thing right there. It's kind of orange. Kind of looks like one of those little crates, those orange crates you get in the Battle of Scarif set, except on a much bigger scale. Excuse me. But anyhow, so I looked at that, I'm like, yeah, I think I can make that. So I spent the last 6 hours. It is 3 in the morning right now. Okay, 3 in the morning. I started at 9 o'clock. Okay, and I spent 6 hours working on making that transport, and I ended up with this right here. And I am so freaking happy how it came out to be. This is exactly what I wanted. It came out so much better than I could ever hope for. And as you can see, it has plenty of great detail around it. I am very happy. Now, please, you know, give the benefit of the doubt. I used that, just that right there. Now, there's another scene of it kind of going through the bunker, but it's kind of far away. Doesn't give as much detail, at least from this. But I used that to make that. Okay, so give me some credit, guys. It's a, you know, if you really want to nitpick it, sure, but I try to get it as close as I can, at least the colors. The main thing that stood out to me is that the orange part, you can kind of see it. It kind of curves right there. That was the one thing that I wanted to achieve with this design, is to have that curvature with the angle like this, and that is what took the most time for sure. I started working on just one of these panels right here, and once I had that figured out, I knew I could make the rest of the panels and figure out the rest of the thing. But man, this thing, it might look a little simple to some of you, but there is so much engineering involved with this little transport craft, okay? It's kind of ridiculous. I kind of want to open it up to show you guys, but before I do that, I want to show you, I didn't just stop with making the transport. I went ahead and modified the bunker over here so that it moves, and it has its own rail system. So let me just slide it on here like that, and it fits perfectly into the bunker, and it can slide and everything. And it looks, the bunker even looks like it's meant to fit it. That was another thing, is I wanted to make sure it was size accurate. It's a little smaller than it probably should be, but I had to make it smaller because of the area that I'm dealing with back here. It should be, probably should come out to here and here on this side, but I mean, it's, there we go. It's not that big of a deal, in my opinion, because the design is, at least what I think, is pretty on par. Now, you'll also see I have significantly modified the rail design. You'll see that I've added these things on the side right here. I almost want to make this expand because I want there to be a giant thing so I can move it down the rail system and have like a lot of joy and fun out of just moving it around. But anyhow, this design also is pretty great. Let me just take this off. It's actually using this piece right here. Whoops. But anyhow, yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see what I did here. It's pretty simple, but yet it works so significantly. And it just kind of fits in there. Let's see, there we go. Just want to get it locked in. Okay. Anyhow, and it works great because the actual rail system is kind of like these big walls around the transport when I look back at it, and this all should be dark gray. But because of the space I'm dealing with, I'm just going to leave it as is. I think it looks just fine. But anyhow, how cool is this? Seriously, I love this. Let me get the camera down a little lower. But yeah, seriously, how cool is this? I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of just geeking out a little bit here, but I think this is the coolest thing ever. The fact that I was able to add this. You know what this reminds me of, guys? This reminds me of the crane in my Chic mock, in the back of it. It's similar to how much time and detail I really paid attention to, except this I feel like is even cooler. But yeah, so I am so happy with it. But yeah, so let me explain how I made it, because I'm sure a lot of you are like, what? I didn't really even go into detail about I was gonna do this or anything, so let me just kind of quickly break this down for you guys. So there's the front, there's the bottom. Bottom's not really pretty. I also, you'll notice I left it very open here. That's how the actual transport is, because I think the actual transport, its rail systems are like this and it like hovers or whatever, you know, Star Wars. Now this stuff on the front, I kind of just made it up. I was like, that looks cool. So I hope you guys don't get too, you know, upset that I wasn't 100% accurate, because I think this is supposed to be like a door leading into the transport, and I tried to do my best. I couldn't actually install a real door just because of design issues and such like that. But I'm just going to take it a little apart and show you guys what exactly the inside of it looks like. So it's a bit tricky to get in. Gotta kind of take this top piece off, and then we can kind of just go from there. Okay. Alright, so taking it off, one of the roof pieces, and now you can kind of see what the inside looks like. So here's what's going on. So I have these things right here holding up the sidewalls like that, and the real engineering came in with this, trying to get this right. So not only did I have to have these things angled aligned with this, but I also had to make sure that you could put the side panels on too. And the way this works is I'm using it kind of like this kind of thing going on here. You can kind of just look and kind of digest it. But anyhow, so these kind of come in and sit right there, and they attach onto these right here. So let me just take that off again, and you can kind of see how that's working. But yeah, this design, it took hours to figure out. And then this is the top piece that just fits like that. Just kind of fits in place and it'll snap down. But yeah, so there's the design. Get the camera in there. So there it is, kind of all attached. It's a little wobbly, but it is secure enough that it will stay stationary for the most part. But yeah, now the rail design, it's pretty easy. I'm just using tiles between this type of piece right here. And you'll notice that I used this piece, these round disc pieces. You don't have to use it with the circle. But anyhow, I used this piece. Why did I use this? I could have just probably put two 2x4 tiles right there. The reason why I included the disc piece right here is because when I push it in, you know, when I'm taking it on and off the rail system, you don't have to, when you use a tile piece with a, you know, a corner, I guess, it creates friction. And when you use a round piece and you enter it like this, you're not going to get as much friction as you enter the transport onto the track. So might sound a little confusing, but it works pretty well actually. But yeah, so a lot of work. So as you can see, you know, that's how I did that. And then you'll also notice that I did a backwards wall right here. And then these things fit on the side. They basically attach right there. So it all kind of comes together like that. So now you can see why all these pieces are all scrambled everywhere. It's because I've been working very, very hard on getting this design the way I want it to. So very awesome. I hope you guys think it's just as cool as I do. I worked really, really hard on this, and I wanted to surprise a lot of you. I didn't promise that I was going to make this. And I wanted to do something really special for the finale. I think this is a really awesome addition to the final segment of Scarif. Again, we're going off with a bang in this segment, guys. So now that the transport's done, I'm going to weaponize the minifigures. And then, just like I was saying a little earlier, I'm going to show you what I've been doing with the beach and water and how all that's looking. And if you couldn't already tell, a lot of trees have already been added as well. But we'll get to showing that a little bit later as we go. So let me go ahead and get the minifigures going, and we'll see what all this looks like once it's, you know, all been cleaned up, guys. All right, guys, so the next thing I'm actually going to do is weapons. So I got a nice order from Brick Arms. I actually ordered these from GI Brick, but these came in today. I'm actually using 3 different types of weapons from 3 different vendors. So Brick Arms will definitely be the main weapons that I'll be using. However, I still will also have some aerial light blasters and pauldrons, and then I will also have some Clone Army custom like rockets and other side gear. But anyhow, so I have 2 of the Star Wars blaster packs. I showed you guys these in an earlier segment a couple weeks ago. So I got a couple more of these. And then I also have like a mixture of all kinds of different, actually no, these are just I think these are the A295 blaster rifles, and then these are E11s. This is the bag with a lot of different types of weapons in it, and you'll see these kind of in the final part of the video with them all in the minifigures. But as you can see, I just opened 6 Rebel Battle Packs. I didn't build any of the sets. I'm going to use those pieces for something else later. But yeah, here are all the minifigures for that. I might switch the faces and bodies so that they're a little different and they're not just like clones or whatever. So I might do that before I place them on the mock. But yeah, this is the final thing. So after this, I know I said to you guys I was going to show you the water and all of that, the water, the forest and all that, but I just decided that I'm going to show you all of that in the final overview when it's all finished and all the figures and everything's on it. So without ado, guys, let me go ahead and go to a time lapse where you're going to see a couple things that I've been working on, and then you'll see the finished product. So let's go, guys. Alright guys, this is it. Scarif is officially done.
Now I can hear her clear.
Yep. I can't believe it, guys. 6 months of work has led to this right here. And it couldn't look any better. This is exactly what I had imagined. So it's pretty awesome to see, you know, what your imagination, you know, basically comes to life. So this is pretty awesome. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, guys. I'm gonna go and take you through a tour of this, and we will exit out on this Scarif segment. Now, there will also be a separate segment, and I'll talk about this later. There will be a separate segment that specifically shows pictures and video of Scarif. That will be, or not a segment, it will be its own video, just like I did for Kashyyyk. So if you want to see like close-ups of really cool minifigures for, you know, and stop and take, you know, look at it very carefully, that'll be the video to do that. This is kind of like a big tour of the finished product, just like we did in the Kashyyyk finale. So let's go ahead and start here, guys. So as you can see, actually I want to point this out before we start getting into the small things. You'll notice that, well, maybe you haven't noticed quite yet, but there is a smaller amount of rebels than stormtroopers. That is intentional. I planned this battle scene out so that the rebels, they have their wins and their loses. So for example, right here, it's pretty even. Maybe the rebels will win against the Empire here in this little battle going on. However, you'll notice that in the trees, I've got reinforcements coming in that are going to outflank the rebels. Same thing going on here, where I have I have Jyn Erso and a ragtag team of rebels here. Fighting against some Scarif beach troopers and some stormtroopers, but then you'll see that reinforcements are coming from this end, and the same thing over here. So you'll see that Cassian over here is fighting alongside the other heroes against the Empire over here, but reinforcements are obviously coming in with the AT-ACT and more troops. And guess what? It's the same thing over here as well. So we have Baze and his ragtag team fighting against the Death Troopers, just like that part in Rogue One. But look who it is. It's Krennic, and he's got a lot of Death Troopers, and I don't think that they're gonna make it out alive, just like the movie. So first off, I'm sure a lot of you will immediately be like, this is so inaccurate. The movie, Cassian and Jyn shouldn't be in the battle. Don't worry, guys. I'm kind of putting this as if it was a Battlefront, like from the Battlefront expansion, the DLC of Scarif from that. You have Cassian, I think you have Jyn, and you have Krennic as heroes that you can play. So you could either A, think it's from Rogue One the movie, or B, think it's from Battlefront, from that type of thing going on throughout here. I think it's a mixture of both. That's what I did. So yeah. I really like how it turned out, honestly. I like how there's always, like, you know, these even fights around the whole mock, but yet there's always reinforcements, or there, you know, because you have to remember, guys, this is the Imperial planet here, okay? This is an Imperial planet, all right? They're going to have way more troops than what Jyn and Cassian brought on that ship. Even with the, you know, Y-Wing, or is it not the Y-Wing, the U-Wing reinforcements that come in, they still wouldn't have enough troops to obviously, you know, outflank or win these type of battles. They can win for a certain amount of time before the reinforcements come. So that's what I strategically planned out when making this mock, at least when it comes to the battle scene. That's what I was thinking. So I hope you guys like that. It's my personal choice. I'm sure some of you will disagree and be like, you should just have one giant head-on-head army against each other. I like having these separate battles. It creates, you know, more interesting creativity between the mock and how there's different parts of it. And it lets me, you know, use a bigger part of the mock than, you know, I could have all the troops, sure, run against each other, and, you know, it's Empire versus Rebels. But that's not as fun, at least in my opinion. So I went with something different in terms of the battle layout. So yeah, now let's get into the details. So I'll just quickly go through it. Again, there'll be pictures and lots of great video in a separate video. And plus I just showed a little bit of it as I, show the mock and whatnot. So I'm just going to take you guys through it. So over here, back to here, you can see that Jen and her team is fighting against these guys. They kind of came from the water. Let's pretend there's another little island right here, and so they're just kind of crossing. Whoops. They're just crossing the water. Now, another thing I'm sure a lot of you guys will bring up in the comments is that the kind of stormtroopers are almost standing on the water. In order to get them to turn like this, I didn't want them to be so stagnant. I didn't want them to be so stagnant straight, because the only way to put them down between the studs and actually get them below the stud water and whatnot is to make them stagnant and perfectly stand in place. I like how I can turn the minifigures and whatnot, so that's something that I did. I also tried to fill in, you can kind of see it, I put in some extra studs around it so it doesn't look as weird. Same thing over here. And you'll also notice that for the AT-ACT footprints, not only in the water, but also the sand, I used Brix. I kind of ran out of time, to be honest, to get the actual feet underneath the mock or the ground. So this is the next best option, and I think it looks just as good. I like how it turned out, honestly. I think it looks different, and it almost is like a throwback to Kashyyyk. But anyhow, as you'll see over here, you have this guy shooting off a Brick Arms rocket launcher straight at the AT-ACT, just like from the movie, except that would be Baze, but I did want him over there instead of here, so I switched out this guy with Baze. And then I have a little rocket launcher dude about to reload the rockets. I got my little sniper out in the woods here. You'll also notice, guys, that I have indeed finished the water and the forest and stuff, and I think it turned out really well. You'll notice that I really did add a lot of waves. I wanted to, get a more motion type of thing. It wasn't so flat. Same thing over there. We'll get there in just a little bit. Now, in terms of here, you'll see that there is a lot of action. I really like this specifically, how he just like headbanged the stormtrooper with the back of his rifle. I think that's awesome. I also really like this guy kind of leading the rebel troopers, and I'll give you guys some different angles and perspectives as I'm talking about it. But anyhow, so we have this this rebels versus empire battle going on here. This is, I'm sure, a lot of you guys' favorite part, or will be your favorite part in terms of the battle sequence. And then you'll see over here that I have more stormtroopers. And then you'll see I added a lot of fire to the Crash G-Wing, and I also added some more sand work down here to make it a lot more, different and more, I don't know, textured. And then you also see this guy, he's like trying to get out, poor pilot. And then this stormtrooper is actually looking at him specifically, and he's wondering, should I get to the battle over there and help my pals, or should I take care of this rebel? So, I don't know what'll happen. Then over here, as I was showing you guys a little bit ago, these are the troop reinforcements that will outflank the rebels over here. Because again, the Empire will win this battle no matter what. Win the battle, but not really get the Death Star plans, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's what's going on over here. And then you'll also notice, guys, that I've added these bushes, these leaves, a lot of different shrubbery around this. This is kind of like a more, I don't want to say desert-like, but more barren part of the forest, while there's much more green and lush over there. I wanted to have two different type of biomes going on here. This is where, you can see that this would represent like a dead leaf falling down, and I have that type of stuff scattered throughout here, the dead bushes. And then you can see as you progress back in here, you'll see that there is, green bushes to the dead dark tan bushes. So I made sure that it had a nice flow to how the transition between this part of the forest to the other part, or not forest, but the, I don't know, beach terrain, whatever you want to call it. But anyhow, making our way over here, I think the biggest thing that you guys definitely want to look at is the, oh man, wow, I am I am totally forgetting the name. You guys have to forgive me. I have been working on this for the last 3 days, so this should come to me at some point. It's a TIE fighter. I just don't remember the exact name. I feel horrible right now. You guys can leave it down in the comments, but I know it's just not coming to me right now. This happens occasionally. But anyhow, we have this TIE fighter right here. It's actually, no, it's the TIE Striker. There you go. Got it, guys. TIE Striker. I knew it was gonna come to me. But anyhow, this is definitely an awesome addition. I'm sure a lot of you guys didn't see coming, and I think it makes the mock look fantastic. I was like, once I had put the two AT-ACTs in, I was like, something's missing right here. And I was like, what if I get a flying vehicle? And actually the first thing I was going to do is I was going to put the Y-Wing bomber in. That was the first vehicle. But then I looked back at the clips of Rogue One, and I was like, oh man, the Y-Wings don't make it down past the shield gate. They're only above taking care of the shield gate outside of the shield. They don't actually make it into the inner atmosphere or whatever to help the rebels, only the X-Wing and U-Wings. So I was like, well, I'll have to put the TIE Striker here. I think that'll be a just as good substitute. And it is. And you also see that I didn't just stack it on the clear stilts like I've done before. I wanted to make this more interesting, more dynamic. So I was like, let's see how I can push this. And so what I did is I wanted to angle it completely at an angle, and I achieved it. It's very, very tricky. It took me an hour to get right. But as you can see, it came out just well. So what I have going on here is I have my main, this is kind of what this main beam right here, whatever you want to call it, this is what's holding the most weight, and then this is kind of balancing and also keeping the TIE Striker from falling over, but also balancing it out. I was thinking about adding an additional pole or tower, whatnot, to hold maybe like right here and have an extra thing, but it's unnecessary. It's actually pretty sturdy, surprisingly. I am a little nervous about it. I feel like it'll fall eventually, but for right now, for the last couple hours, it's been standing strong, and it doesn't seem to, even when I shake the table, it doesn't seem like it's gonna fall over, so that's nice. So I think that's a great addition right there. So over here, you'll see that I have, just like the movie, I have the Death Trooper reinforcements. Now, obviously, a lot of you will complain, be like, Krennic wasn't in, you know, here in the scene. He was obviously, you know, back at the Citadel Tower fighting Jyn Erso. Well, I mean, if you guys remember, not only am I playing this as like the Battlefront type of thing, but also there's cut scenes from the trailer, the original Rogue One trailer, where Krennic is actually walking over the water. It seemed like during the battle. So, you know, you can nitpick all you want, but there is an actual scene showing it. So there you go, guys. So anyhow, you have the Death Trooper reinforcements leading over here, and you have this kind of like sandy area with kind of like a little mound and hill that the rebels and Death Troopers are fighting over. And I'll give you guys some different views of that. So we have Baze right here, and he's leading his team of rebels against the Death Troopers. Now, I also noticed that throughout all these battles that I have added fire. That's just basically missed shots from the blasters. You know, stormtroopers just can't aim. But I also added a few on the other side, so that, you know, the rebels aren't perfect, right? So that's what the fire's for. And now we make our way over here. And actually, one quick thing before we get really into all these details, you'll notice that this is empty. This is the only part that is empty in terms of the beach. Even the forest, I have rebels kind of going through and whatnot, and I have some snipers and whatnot over here. But this is the only part where I do wish I had more rebels and more stormtroopers. I have used every minifigure I can on this mock, guys, and I wish I had a few more rebels, maybe like 15, 20 more rebels and 15, 20 more Imperials, and I'd have another little battle right here, but sadly I don't. Maybe if I had another AT-ACT I could put it right here, but I don't. So I think it's okay that this section is kind of left open. It looks pretty. I don't think it's the biggest deal. So moving on, you'll see here that we have Cassian leading his ragtag team of rebels, along with Chirrut and I forget his name. I feel bad. You know, he's the engineer TIE fighter pilot that went rogue on the Empire. But anyhow, I also added a little droid here, and same right there, you know, just for added little details. I have the little control panel switch right here. Whoops. So you can flip it down. That would be Chirrut's job. But right now, I think the rebels are a little busy taking care of all of these stormtroopers and beach troopers. And man, this looks awesome, seriously. I'm really happy with how all this came out. So you can see all the rebels are being strategic in terms of where they're placing themselves around, you know, whatever they can find to hide themselves. Except for this guy. This guy's got the chain gun. He's about to take out some stormies. But yeah, they're kind of pouring in through here. And of course, like I showed you guys earlier in the video, we have the transport in the back, and of course it can move, and that's what will be transporting in the stormtroopers to the bunker. So very awesome. You also see that I have some trees around the bunker. If this was expanded off here, this would be another kind of forest area like this is over here. I only have one of these crates right here, unfortunately. Kind of wish I had maybe 6, so I can kind of put it around here. I don't, unfortunately. I used a lot of I had 2 more actually. But actually no, 3. I had 3 of them before that one, and I used it on this and the AT-ACTs. So rest in peace, little orange. I don't know what the crates. They're almost like kyber crystal crates almost. You also see that I decorated some, you know, just little things, some planery, these little antenna things. Same over here and over there. Just little added details to make it feel even more, you know, finished and complete, I suppose. But yeah, I'll give you guys some different views of this. And then in here, you'll see that I have some more forest-like rebels hiding out the trees. You know, we got a sniper right here. So yeah. All right, making our way over on this end. You'll see again that the AT-ACT has got this footprint, and I think this really works. I think it looks really, really good actually. I used cheese slopes, basically the 1x1 tan slope, but everybody just calls them cheese slopes for short. And again, there's reinforcements. You got the 501st beach troopers coming in, the Scarif beach troopers, and then you can kind of see the perspective of the stormies. You also see that I have an exploding stormtrooper, and I figured that would be a grenade being you know, launched or blasted. So that's what's going on there, and you have all the rebels being, or not the rebels, all the stormtroopers being like, oh my god, I got them flying in the air. So that's pretty neat. And then this is kind of the rebel perspective, or the Imperial's perspective, because they're getting wiped out by them. Making it back over here, I want to go back into the forest and show you guys some of the detail in here. And you'll see the stormtroopers reinforcements coming over here to take care of these rebels. And that takes us all the way back to the beginning, guys. Again, I have some rebels kind of scattering throughout here. They're either going to help Cassian or Baze. It's up to their decision. And then I only have one guy right here. This one guy is actually noticing that these stormtroopers are coming to flank them. That poor guy. And then I also have this poor stormtrooper sniper. He's going to get knocked out by him. So yeah. And then of course we have the AT-ACTs. I have 2 of them. You know, have the nice markings on them and such. I can open up. Same here. I don't have any guys in the cockpit because they're, like I said, I'm using all my stormtroopers in the battle over here. I didn't want to leave any to waste. So that's what's going on with that. But yeah, so that's going to be it, guys. That is Scarif. So I'll show you guys a couple more angles and just kind of have a quick overview. And this is it, guys. This is it. This is Scarif. Completed now finished. It's pretty awesome. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you guys, and let's head on out. This is it guys. It's done. Building Scarif is done. That's pretty awesome to say. The finished mock is here. It's finished, of course. Completed. Looks awesome. I'm sure I'll get a couple comments saying, well, David, you should have done this and you should have done that. I think it turned out great. I've seen a lot of other Scarifs that you guys have been creating, that other fans have been creating. Different scenes, definitely nothing really like mine, and I personally like that. I like people to, or like other fans to take a different take than what I've been doing. Of course, you know, the bunker and stuff is part of Scarif, but in terms of my layout and what I did, I like to see different layouts. You know, some people made the Citadel, some people made a different section of Scarif, some people actually made the full, you know, bunker train transport area. Some people made a bigger like ocean lake, or not even a lake, but you know, between two islands, whereas I just have one giant island. So it's interesting. So I will continue to look at your guys' Scarifs. I get a lot of you email, Twitter, Facebook message, you name it. I've gotten a lot of messages from you guys saying, hey, I want to build my own Scarif, or I want to build my own Kashyyyk, or whatever you want to build. You know, how do I do it? Or you know, is it okay to do it? By the way, you don't have to have my permission to do a Scarif mock, or any mock for that part. I personally wouldn't even really mind if you guys copied it. I wouldn't be like offended or anything by that either. So you don't need my permission to do any of that. Honestly, just go out there, guys, and make something. Just make something. You just, you know, if you got that thought in your head, that idea, then just do it, I suppose. You just, you know, Scarif, I was very hesitant on making, and I was like, you know, will this work out? And, you know, I had my doubts about the mock, and, well, here it is now, all finished, complete, and I think a lot of you really enjoyed the journey to this point. It turned out to be great, and another successful building series. And I'll go on to make another mock after this as well. So this is not the end, of course. Yeah, just go out there, guys, to all the fans who want to make their own Lego mock. It doesn't have to be this size. You can just get one big gray base plate and just build on that. Build your Scarif on that. You don't need a bunch of Lego. I mean, like a significant amount of Lego. You need like enough to make like that, you know, that gray base plate, enough to fill in at least that. But anyhow, my point here is you don't need anything this big to start building. Just do it. Just start building. See what you make. Share it with me. I'm always looking at your guys' messages. Again, all the emails you send me, I do look at. I don't have the time to reply to everything, but I certainly will look at everything. I try to reply as many messages I get. I do get a lot. So if you don't get a message back, please don't be like offended or sad or anything like that. It's just because I'm always usually busy, and it's very hard for me to respond without having other things going on that I have to pay my attention to. So yeah, all right, well that's about it, guys. I had my little spiel about go make your own mock. There's not much left to say about Scarif except one last thing. Two last things, actually. Is this going to a convention? I'm sure that's a big question that'll be down in the comments. No, at least not right now. I was originally planning to bring it to Brick Fair, Virginia 2017. That's near Washington, D.C. in the United States. I was planning on bringing it to that. Something happened. Something really awesome, and I can't talk about it whatsoever. But all I can say is that this was not the last time you'll see Scarif. Of course, I'll have another video showcasing the mock, just like I did for Kashyyyk. You know, lots of cool camera angles and pictures and awesome music. I love doing that type of stuff. But something else will come with Scarif. This is not it. In terms of the destruction and deconstruction of Scarif, I don't plan on taking it apart anytime too soon. And I'm sure that'll put a lot of question marks in a lot of you guys' head, because you'll probably be like, well, David, how are you going to build the next mock if, you know, this is taking up all your room? Easy answer to that is that I just take this off. Remember, it's portable. I can literally store it in the corner of the room. I can stack up the plates. Granted, I have to take all the trees and shrubbery off, and then the bunker is kind of its own little thing over there. But everything is pretty modular and portable, so it can be transported to a convention. So, basically store it. I don't plan on taking it fully apart anytime soon. Unless I significantly need the pieces for something. If I need, you know, a lot of pieces to start whatever my next mock is, and for some reason I can't get any ordered or anything like that, then yeah, I'll take it apart. But or if it requires water, I am not building a bunch of these. If I'm doing any type of water in the next mock, I am not doing this method again. I have learned my lesson, guys. I'm not gonna do the, you know, studded thing either, like I did in Kashyyyk. I'll probably create a new method, and whatever the new mock is, even if it has water. I'm not saying it has water. That's not confirmed yet. But yeah, so the next mock will be announced probably within the next month or two at the very least. Probably August, no later than September. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't even want to go past into September, honestly. Don't worry, guys. I have plenty of other videos coming out for you guys in the next couple weeks. I'm going to go to Brick Fair. I will be going to Brick Fair, even though I'm not bringing the mock. I will be there. I don't be taking videos and stuff, so I will be there. I have some type of presence. But yeah, so at the moment, Scarif will continue to stay here. It's not going to go to a convention. It's not going to be broken down anytime soon. And the next mock is coming within the next month or two, when we start it at least. And that's about it. That's the last thing I have to say here in Building Scarif Week 20, the finale. Well, alright guys, don't worry, there's another building series after this, I promise. Just like I said after Kashyyyk, this wasn't going to be it. Same thing with Scarif, this is not going to be it. Stay tuned, guys, stay subscribed. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, because you want to see what the next mock is. Leave down your comments below of what you thought of the finished version of Scarif. And also, I'm still curious to see what you guys think the next mock is, so leave your ideas down below for that as well. Alright guys, I hope you have a great and wonderful day. I'm signing off. Bye guys.